Hello again. This is part two in a series of videos I'm going to make and show you how the government wastes your tax money. And what they're doing here is destroying fine pieces of workmanship. They're demilling U.S. rifles and machine guns. All these are top quality usable guns. At one time were made by sacrifice of many people like Rosie the Riveter and other people in the factory buying war bonds and working many jobs for the war effort. These great guns are now spared the no expense of your tax dollars being destroyed. And here's a good example of a 30 caliber Browning machine gun. Now this example is cleaned up. When I got it, of course it was a lot more rusty and full of dirt and grease and everything else. This one is fairly clean. This particular set was done probably in the 70s. Another Jimmy Carter special. You notice it was torch cut, the receiver there, and that's more of their signature. Torch cut was popular in the probably in the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and later on under the Bill Clinton administration they used what they call as the Captain Crunch machine. And what that is a hydraulic press that would come down and basically smash the weapons, stocks, any type of receivers, guns, or you name it, and it would basically turn them into a pile of debris. At least with the torch cuts, you can see, and many parts are salvageable. This one you can see, it's a 30 caliber Browning. It's actually marked Saginaw steering gear division, and surprisingly many parts are intact. If you look here, you can see, well, this one didn't make it too well, but you can see what's left of the sight. The bolt is still in there. Of course, it was all complete guns ready to go, and just a little grease on them. And this one had an earlier grip on it. You can see this would have had the wood grips or the rare aluminum grips. This is more like a 1917 style. Which is interesting about this receiver is part of the cocking safety bars on there. You don't see this on many guns, but I guess later on when they would put these on vehicles, they would have a tendency to bolt to go forward and would tend to slam fire, pick up rounds. So they came up with this bar, and they would take this bar and it would lock the bolt to stay to the rear until they're ready to use it. And you don't see many of this. This was actually two parts, two different receivers that I kind of ground the way. It's just a little bit more, it's a little longer than more. You can see over here is a dummy side plate, 30 caliber Browning, and you can see that the side plate, or the Demmiled receiver, is actually longer than a side plate. There were two pieces. So I ground up another one that was pretty intact and made it fit fairly well. And this one's kind of nice because it actually still has most of the, you can see the trunnion and the bolt stop, and it still has a lot of the feed tray on it. And it still closes and locks. Feed tray would go right there. In front of it, of course, you have this part right here. It's called the trunnion. And the trunnion, you have the base for the sight base right here, and your barrel extension, so forth. It's a barrel, the barrel shroud. And if you follow it down here, you can see where they hacked it right there again too. There's part of the barrels inside, barrel shroud. Now this particular gun was actually a 1984 A6 because it has what's left of the bipod assembly. It's a real one, and the flash hider assembly. This is a classic of it in 1918 A6, and you can see they spared no expense of chopping it away. But these were with the welding cutters.